Jasmine, look, everything is a mess. I don't know what you're doing to ensure that our company can survive in this business world. The share price keeps dropping and the employees are sending in their resignation letters. Now, what's left?
Wait, sir, hold on. Nothing will change if you keep saying the same things over and over again. I am trying my best to think of a way out of this problem. I have asked for help from the auditors as well. And, we plan to meet up later in the evening to further discuss this issue.
What about the annual report? Did the auditor manage to finalize it? Solve all the unresolved problems in our company. I give you a month's time to settle everything, or you can choose to leave the company.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. I beg to Professor Madya Dr. Norziatun binti Ismail Khan and my fellow classmates. So, before we start, I would like to introduce my team members, which are Amiratun Atika binti Khairul Amri, Khairunisa binti Mahazir, Nurul Adila binti Abdul Rashid, Nur Emiliawati binti Muhammad Nasir, and me, myself, Nur Hazika Malena binti Sharunizam. And I'm going to start our presentation for Mark 671, case study 2, with the background of Huawei Holdings Berhad. Okay, Huawei Holdings Berhad was established in 1993. It is a Malaysian-based company engaged in footwear production, specializing in shoe soles. The founder of the company is Gary Manon, who has been appointed as the executive chairman since 2008. Huawei has 5 subsidiaries, which are Red Shoe Material, Jinjiang Shoe Material, Evidoma, Greenet Investment, and Zente Trading. Huawei is very committed to its philosophy of producing comfortable and high-quality shoes at affordable prices. Their top priority and commitment is to ensure its customers' satisfaction by producing more comfortable, trendy design with quality products. As for Huawei, the target market customer are mainly the young and middle-aged working adults, where its shoe soles can meet the demand of these demographics. Okay, how can Huawei maintain its business in the footwear industry? This is because the company has a good vision, mission, and also objectives. So Huawei aspires to be a leading name in the footwear industry in the near future and the most targeted platform for the footwear industry players to showcase, feature, and promote its quality footwear. Now, what are the company's objectives? First, to improve the quality of Malaysian-made footwear. Second, to enhance the competitiveness of footwear industry in Malaysia. Third, to increase the brand exposure and markets of Malaysian footwear both locally and internationally. And lastly, to ensure the long-term growth of and sustainability of footwear industry.
Now, I will explain about the organizational structure of Huawei Holdings Berhad. So, as you can see in the diagram here, Gary Manon is the founder and the executive chairman of Huawei Holdings Berhad, who has more than 20 years of experience in the shoe sole production industry. He is helped by his CEO, Jasmine Kaur. Apart from that, the company has 1 non-independent executive director and another 3 other independent non-executive directors. There are also audit committees, nominations committees, remuneration committees, secretary, registrar officers, as well as auditors.
So, as we know, Huawei mainly produces shoe soles. There are 4 types of shoe soles produced by Huawei in the past 20 years, which are the rubber shoe soles, followed by thermoplastic rubber shoe soles, MD1 shoe soles, and lastly the MD2 shoe soles. Next, I will explain a little bit regarding the chronology for Huawei Holdings Berhad. In 1993, the company started off producing their first product, which is the rubber shoe soles. Then the company expanded their business by producing thermoplastic rubber shoe soles in 1995. In 1999, the main subsidiary of Huawei, which is the Jinjiang Shoe Material, took over the entire business of developing, manufacturing, and selling shoe soles. Moreover, in the year of 2000, the development of thermoplastic rubber shoes was to improve quality control, lower production costs, and to reduce subsidiary reliance on suppliers. Hence, the company decided to establish internal research and development to strengthen the design of the shoe soles. Okay, the company succeeded in production of new ethylene vinyl acetate model, which is the EVA MD1 and EVA MD2 in 2003 and 2006 consequently. Lastly, by 2008, Huawei took another step to reduce its production costs and increase its profit margin by developing in-house production of EVA compound pellets, and the company finally listed in Bursa Malaysia in 2009.
Thank you, Hazika, for the introduction. Next, me, Khairunisa binti Mahazir, will be presenting the key issues. There is a lot of issues that Huawei Holding Berhad is facing, and therefore, from my part, I will be explaining the issues that Huawei Berhad as a whole, and Amiratun will be explaining on the internal control and global issues. And the first issue that Huawei Holding Berhad is facing is delay in submitting annual report. According to the Companies Act 2016 under Section 259, it requires the company to lodge its financial statements and reports with the Registrar of Company, ROC. However, Huawei has failed in submitting the annual report on time, where the release of its December 2015 annual report has been delayed. This is due to the burden of additional work that needs to be done by the auditor as part of the investigating process and verifying the expenditure incurred and the bank balance. The next factor that contributes to the delay in submitting annual report is omission of appropriate evidence and lack of information. There are problems arising around Huawei regarding its subsidiaries and inventories, and it has been stated in paragraph 15-17 of Bursa's listing requirements to empower the audit committee with the rights to carry out their work in an unhindered manner. The auditors have the authority to investigate any matter within its terms of reference and have full and unrestricted access to any information pertaining to the listed issuer. In the case of Huawei, in order to complete the delayed audit report, the auditor had to meet up with the management teams of all the subsidiaries to obtain the evidence and to solve the problems, since they had the right to do so as what have been highlighted in the Bursa listing requirement. However, the management team was unable to reach and no commitment given at all. As a result, the auditor was unable to obtain appropriate evidence from its subsidiaries, Greener Investment and Avidoma, to ascertain whether the group still had ownership over the inventories. Thus, auditor could not complete the audit report as they could not determine whether all significant events occurring after the reporting period had been adequately dealt with the financial statement with respect to disclosures, presentation and adjustment. Hence, there were also rules that due to the fraud where the auditor could not obtain disclosures from the management of the subsidiaries regarding the result of their assessment of the risk whether the financial statement may be misstated as a result of fraud. Next issue is the share price keep on dropping. Although the company may submit the annual report later than expected, this will sometimes have an impact on its stock price. The report is typically issued to shareholders and other stakeholders who use it to evaluate the firm's financial performance and to make investment decisions. Late submissions of annual report will cost more than time. It can impair relations with lenders and investors. In this case, Huawei could not keep its promise to submit the annual report in the agreed time since they have set a new deadline of no later than 2 months from the year end. The investors may take this as a sign of negative earnings surprise. Because of that, Huawei's share price has started to drop tremendously in trading, and their share price has been dropping each year. The company's image will look less valuable than it is. And the third issue is that the directors of Huawei are incompetent in carrying their duty and act in unprofessional ways. They do not know the importance of corporate governance, as we stated in Bursa Malaysia's requirement on corporate governance, where the directors must act in the best interests of the company, care and diligence in their function and in dealing with statutory duties. He or she must act honestly and avoid conflict of interest. They must act according to the company's constitutions, Companies Act, Securities Industry Act, and comply with the listing requirements. However, both directors of Huawei, Gary Menon and Jasmine Kao, clearly are unaware of the importance of corporate governance, where both of them have been sued for causing Huawei to commit financial reporting breaches. They were not practicing the principles of good corporate governance as been set out in the Malaysian Code of Corporate Governance. In addition, they also refused to cooperate with the regulators regarding the enforcement action that has been imposed on them.
Thank you, Khairunisa, for your great explanation. Now, as you have been told that I will be continue my part on the issue within the internal control and the global trends. I will first start with the issue within internal control. The board of directors are clearly not doing their responsibility as the directors of the company, as the remaining directors commit a lot of breaches regarding corporate governance, foreign listing requirement, disclosure, and the compliance with the Bursa Malaysia Securities Directive. They also refuse to communicate with the regulators and the new board of Malaysia, even though it was one of the responsibilities as a director as stated in the corporate governance. Next, there is also no proper standard operating procedures or regulations in the company, as a lot of people were resigning without any prior notice, and this also affect the ways for the management team to conduct their work. A negative example can be seen when the team refuses to give commitment to the auditors regarding the confirmation of ownerships and recoverable amount for subsidiaries. Besides that, the inability to obtain sufficient assurance that there were no material weaknesses in the system of internal accounting control, and there was no risk that financial statements may be materially misstated as a result of fraud is also one of the internal control problems. There is also a confirmation by the auditors regarding the lack of proper documentation about any business transaction that had been happened. An example is the situation about how the auditors were unable to assess the completeness of all legal cases and the extent of liabilities that might arise. Aside from that, due to the lack of proper documentation, auditors were unable to determine whether all significant events occurring after the reporting period had been adequately dealt with the financial statements. There is also the existence of a material uncertainty that may cause significant doubt about the group's and company's ability to continue as going concern. Besides issues involving Huawei and their internal control, they are also facing the issue of global trends. Over the years, the global footwear industry diversified across different geographic regions such as in Europe, Asia Pacific, North America and Latin America. The increase in today's population and tendency of people to spend more have also becoming the contributing factors in the growing demand of footwear across the global market. However, the growth of the global footwear industry is becoming slower day by day. This is due to many external and internal factors. The main factor that contributes to the decline is the rising price of raw materials. Due to high prices, many footwear companies today face difficulties in getting raw materials at cheaper prices. Thus, they do not have any choice but to increase their selling price to cover the increasing cost per pair of shoes. Other than that, factors such as the increase of environmental concerns, rising cost of local labor, the price war, and also fierce global competition have also contributed to the slow growth of the footwear industry. This then left the companies with no choice but to switch to cheaper grade materials and low quality production, as they need to ensure that they are able to bear the cost. Now, let's move on to the ethical issue that the company has been violated. The first ethical issue would be lack of integrity. Directors did not perform their job and responsibility as an important role in the organization. They should have shown a good reputation to the stakeholders and even to the employee, so that the stakeholder and the employees can put 100% trust in the company. This issue can be referred in the scene of where Jasmine Kaur, the CEO, was fined. Besides directors, the subsidiaries also did not have responsibility on submitting the report or any appropriate evidence for the auditors to audit and complete their job. They are not only irresponsible towards their job, but also not responsible for the mistakes that they have made that has caused the company's share price to drop due to the late submission of the annual report. Furthermore, the act of 2 board members, employees, company secretary and agent resign without any prior notice has shown that they lack integrity in acting professionally while dealing with any conflict in the company and resigning in a proper or formal way. The last ethical issue is unethical leadership. We have found that most of the leaders in the company are using laissez-faire leadership, or also known as delegative leadership, in which leaders are hands-off and allow group members to make decisions. Researchers have found that this is generally the leadership style that leads to the lowest productivity among group members. The first example is shown when the chairman unethically ordered the CEO to solve all the unresolved problems in the company on her own instead of brainstorming ideas. I will pass the time now to the next presenter. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Nurul Adila Binta Rashid, and I will highlight some suggestions on strategies on how to improve corporate governance in the company. Firstly, we have to ensure that the directors have all the information they need. Better information means better decisions. Regular board papers will provide directors with information that the CEO or the management team has decided what they need. However, directors do not all have the same informational requirements since they differ in their knowledge, skills, and experience. Briefings, presentations, site visits, individual director development programs, and so on can all provide directors with additional information. Above all, directors need to be able to find answers to the questions they have, so an access to independent professional advice policy is recommended. The next strategy is to appoint competent board members. The nominating committee should devote adequate time to identify board members who have skills and industry knowledge to assist the board. What is important for a board is that it has a good understanding of skills it has and those skills it requires. A board candidate should also be evaluated on his or her interpersonal skills, since board interactions and relationships will be important to overall board performance. In the case of Huawei, two of their board members resigned without any prior notice. As a responsible board members, they should inform earlier about their resignation, because every action taken by the board members will affect the company directly. The result of that action is Huawei Holdings Berhad lost their company secretary, agent, non-executive director, and chief financial officer, which left the company without a proper functioning board. In addition, corporate governance can be improved by building and maintaining an effective government infrastructure. Since the board is ultimately responsible for all actions and decisions of an organization, it will need to have in place specific policies to guide organizational behavior. To ensure that the line of responsibility between board and management is clearly delineated, it is particularly important for the board to develop policies in relation to delegations. Also, under these topics are processes and procedures. Poor internal processes and procedures can lead to inadequate access to information, poor communication, and uninformed decision-making, resulting in a higher level of dissatisfaction among directors. Enhancements to board meetings processes, meeting agendas, board papers, and board committee structure can often make a difference between a mediocre board and a high-performing board. Lastly, for a company to have a good corporate governance is by monitoring organizational performance. Monitoring organizational performance is an essential board function, and ensuring legal compliance is a major aspect of the board's monitoring role. It ensures that corporate decision-making is consistent with the strategy of the organization and the owner's expectations. This is best done by identifying the organization's key performance drivers and establishing appropriate measures for determining success. As a board, the directors should establish an agreed format for the reports they monitor to ensure that all matters that should be reported are in fact reported. For example, in the case study, the auditor had a problem in finishing Huawei Holdings Berhad audited report because they were unable to get enough information about a few uncleared informations. As a result, the company's audited report could not be submitted on the deadline, which led to Huawei's share price declining. Audit committee of the company is responsible to provide the information needed by the auditors because the company is legally bound with the rules and regulation, as the Huawei Holdings Berhad is listed in the Bursa Malaysia Securities.
Hi, my name is Nur Imlewati binti Manasir, and now I will be talking about Huawei Holding Berhad attractiveness using Porter's 5 forces. Product 5 Forces model is aimed to help to improve firms' competitive advantages as well as to help the firm to identify whether to remain or exit the industry. Besides, it also helps to determine the industry's strengths and weaknesses. Number 1. The threats of new entrants. The profits of established firms may be affected due to the entrance of the new competitors in the industry. The less time and money it takes for a competitor to enter and compete in a company's market, the more an established company position may be significantly weakened. The higher the entry barriers, the threat of entry is lower. There are lots of footwear brands in the industry due to the demands of the customers for the design of the footwear as well as consumer awareness of the healthy lifestyle. Huawei Holdings Berhad has produced its product for over 20 years. Despite of the long years of operation in the industry, Huawei has become a well-known brand of high-quality footwear. Through these informations, we can see that Huawei is able to maintain high entry barriers by being in the footwear industry for 20 years due to customer loyalty and solid brand identifications. To last longer in an industry is surely not an easy job due to the high competition in the market. Huawei is also a public listed company that show high market capitalizations. Since Huawei Holdings Berhad produce comfortable and high quality shoes, this has encouraged the customers to keep on repeating buying shoes from Huawei Holdings Berhad. Number 2 is the power of suppliers. Supplier can exert bargaining power by threatening to raise prices or lower the quality of the purchased goods and services. It is influenced by the number of suppliers, how unique these inputs are, and how much it will cost a company to switch to a different suppliers. The supplier's power is high only when a few firms dominate the industry and buyers' quality is affected by the industry products. Due to the increasing growth of the fashion industry and high demand for the new design of the footwear as well as consumers' awareness of the healthy lifestyles, this has led to the increased cost of the raw material. The increased price of the raw materials has made it difficult for Huawei to get their material at lower prices. From here, we can see that suppliers have the bargaining power in setting the price of the raw material acquired by the purchaser. This has led Huawei Holdings Berhad to choose a cheaper good materials with low quality product in order to bear the cost. Number 3 is the power of customer. Customer or buyer have the power to force down price, bargain for a better product quality, or play competitors against each other. It is influenced by the number of buyers or customer a company has and the importance of each customer and the cost of a company finding new customer for its output. It cannot be denied that customers surely wanted shoes at a lower cost with a tip-top quality. Therefore, there is a high bargaining power of customer as customers are educated, which easily access to the latest informations. Number 4 is the threat of the substitutes products. Substitutes goods or services can be used instead of a company's products or services poses a risk. Companies that produce goods or services with no clear substitute will have more clout to raise prices and lock in favorable terms. Customers will have the option to forego purchasing a company's product if the price is attractive and close substitutes are available. Since Huawei is involved in the footwear industry, there are many substitute products in the market. This is because the fashion trends and customer lifestyle keep on changing, therefore indicating of the high threat of substitutes products. Lastly is the competitors in an industry. The greater the number of competitors as well as the number of comparable products and services offered, the less powerful a company is. If a company's competitors can offer a better deal or lower prices, suppliers and buyers will seek them out. When a competitive rivalry is low, a company has more power to charge higher prices and set the terms of deals in order to increase the sales and profits. In Huawei situations, the global footwear industry has diverged across different geographic regions, show high intensity of rivalry. In contrast, it can be seen that the growth of the global footwear industry is becoming slower. Many reasons lies in contributing to this slower growth, such as the fierce global competitions, environmental concerns, high labor costs, and also price war. Despite all of the reasons, changes is still there as customer demand due to fashion trends and lifestyles of the footwear industry.
The shoe industry is cyclical in nature, while consumer confidence is at a high, encouraging sales with several new product lines coming out. Footfalls in stores have been soft, longer-term prospects are also uncertain, international growth is strong. However, this poses its own set of risks such as increased border taxes and weak economic growth. The shoe industry is in the consumer discretionary sector. However, the global footwear industry has been experiencing rapid expansion, driven by rapid demand for innovative footwear worldwide. Market segmentation is the process of dividing up mass markets into different groups of similar needs and wants. The motive behind segmentation is to get to know the customer in a detailed manner, gain a competitive advantage, and then be able to serve the customer's needs and wants in a better way. In this case, the position of Huawei Holdings Berhad in the industry is attractive because Huawei uses different types of segmentation to break a bigger market into small customer groups. Firstly, Huawei Holdings Berhad uses demographic segmentation. Segmentation according to demographic is based on consumer, which is demographic variables such as age, income, family sizes, economic status, and etc. Mainly, Huawei targets young consumers. Their target consumers also included middle-aged working adults, where its shoe soles can meet their demands of these demographics. Moreover, Huawei also uses psychographic as one of their main segmentations. In order to create comfortable and high-quality shoes at affordable prices, they continuously strive to seek technical breakthroughs to ensure its customer satisfaction are at the highest level. Huawei producing more comfortable and trendy design and superior quality products helps the brand target its desired customer segments and become top priority, as well as being the customer's first choice.
To conclude, Huawei Holding Berhad is attractive if based on the Portal 5 Forces model that I have mentioned before. In contrast, Huawei is lacking in its internal control. This can be seen where Gary Manning, the executive chairman, is the one that is responsible to do most of the work, such as the quality control, public reactions, research and developments of the company, and others as well, which some of the work is too overwhelmed for him to handle by himself. There was supposed to be a segregation of duties in the management where he as an executive chairman has to do the work that he was assigned to. In addition, for Huawei Holding Berhad to sustain in the industry, they need to improve their strategic management, as the company fails to manage its business properly, including their subsidiaries companies.